Hey there, Variety here. Welcome to today's video in which we're going to be doing a class guide for the Shadow Swordsman for Tarisland. So the Shadow Swordsman is going to be the first class that we actually do on the China server. I did double check all the talent and the skills to make sure they're all correct, and they are in the spreadsheet below as per usual. In today's video, we'll follow the same format. We'll go and have a look at the rotation, and then we'll go and have a look at some of the PvE for that class. The Shadow Swordsman plays one of the builds as most people would probably associate with an assassin. Both builds are DPS related, short range, melee range, high damage, where one's dueling and it requires spinning around a wheel, and the other one requires stacking poison on your opponent. So let's go and have a look at the class. The first build we're going to look at is poison. So the poison is pretty straightforward. So you're going to use your 1-2, or for me it's Q and E, to gain stacks, and when your stacks are full you're going to use poison. So I'm going to use poison. As you saw, my stacks were full, so it put a poison debuff on him, which is here. It's going to do damage over time. So now I'm using my Q and my E. It uses energy, but when I hit, it gives me the charge. Now I have the charge. Now I can use my poison again. So there are some builds that, for example, will get a couple of charges and then you'll hit the R key and you'll use Poison Sting. So if you're not full charge, it'll use Poison Sting. If you are full charge, it'll use Poison, which is the dot. So my build is focused around using Phantom Slashes and proccing Poison Blade. So it's actually not built around using Poison Sting when it's not at full. So for my build, I'm going to run it always when it's at full. So here we have a ability which makes me do 4% extra damage and does damage. So hit, and then you're going to want to use your abilities after that. So the last ability here is going to make it so you do more damage. So it's your damage multiplier. Gonna get my poison out. And this ability here is your AoE. So I'm gonna continue the fight as I usually would to show you what it's like without me explaining the abilities. And there you go. That is pretty much the basics of the poison class. Keep in mind, you can have a look at the spreadsheet and I'll provide more information like the abilities and talents to give you a better idea of exactly how to play it. Keep in mind that it does change a bit based upon your talents. For example, if my talents were in Poison Sting, I'd be using more Poison Stings in between the poison rather than using the 1 and 2 ability. Okay, so before we talk about the tool build, I want to point out that the talents will drastically change the way you play this class, right? So this is one way to play it. So I'm going to be using my assault, and I'm going to spam my assault, and my assault is going to lower the cooldown on my furious attack, right? So I want to get my furious attack up as much as I can. when I'm going around the wheel and using Spectral Slash, there's a chance it will make my points on the wheel weakness. So each red point is a weakness. And because it's a weakness, you do 40% more damage, right? So because you're doing 40% more damage, you want to use your biggest abilities while you are, while you're on the weakness wheel. So I'm going to keep using Q to spin around the wheel and lower the cooldown of my R. Use the R again when you're on weakness, get out of the ability. This here is my Blades of Chaos. This is going to be my damage ability, and my C is going to be my, multiplier. Your T key here will also make all of your things weaken for a couple seconds, which you would have seen. Okay, so I'm trying to get back around the wheel, so when this AoE goes away, I'm going to spam Q a couple of times to get to the weakness. Basically, you want to get as many weaknesses as you can on the wheel, and then use your biggest ability that you have active at the time while it's on the weakened state. Keep in mind your X ability here won't actually use your weakness. Alright, let's move back. Okay, let's get back around the wheel. Try to proc a weakness. Okay, on the weakness, I'm going to use my T and do huge damage. 1500 damage. So that's pretty much the duel build. The other way of running it, for example, the duel build, you could change some of your talents. So I believe it's your 1 or your 2 ability will actually make the wheel go around twice. The problem with that is that when you only have that cooldown available and the weakness is at the next point, you'll skip the weakness, which is not what you want to do, right? So I prefer to go the build which focuses on using Assault to proc the Furious Attack's cooldown reduction, and then using Spectral Slash along with Assault to get around the wheel, and then, slamming Frenzy Throw and Furious Attack to the weak points. So that covers all the basics that you need to know for the dueling class. Of course, there will be more information in the spreadsheet below, so have a look at that. That's everything you need to know for the Swordsman class for Tarisland. Thanks for watching.